I spoke with you during the commercial break, huge Laker fan. So I'm speaking obviously as a journalist, but also as a fan. Last couple of years have been rough, documented. We thought we had Phil Jackson. You mentioned it was betrayal when he wasn't hired. We'll talk about that later. We had Mike D'Antoni, a couple of losing seasons. Kobe injured. The list goes on. And right now, the state of the Lakers seems like it's a state of emergency. What is going on with the organization?
I think that certainly when Kobe suffered the Achilles injury, that was devastating. And the organization is just trying to get back on its feet. Kobe's back, looks, as good as Kobe has looked in years. We have new young players. We have a new coach. So, I'm excited about our future, but I understand the concern. We didn't make the playoffs last year, and that is not anything that we are used to in the Laker organization.
The script has always been win a championship. It doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon.
I don't know how you can say that, because every year, I really don't like when a front office can say, well, we don't have the players that we need to win a championship. How do you know that in October? Let the players, let the coach, let them play the season out. Let them try to accomplish and take steps towards that goal. And I can tell you that every year that Phil Jackson coached, he always had a path to a championship. Sometimes it was a straight line, and sometimes it was over a lot of hurdles. But he always started the season with that goal and allowed the players to have a chance to show what they have.
Go ahead, Skip.
You want to go?
You want me to go?
Yes, sir.
I thought you're
Somebody
the man
go.
here. You're the NBA guy. Okay, well, I'll ask this.
Okay.
This is what I don't understand, and just help me out and forgive me for not getting this. But you hold the title of president of the Los Angeles Lakers. You sit on the board of governors of the National Basketball Association. Yet it appears to us on a routine daily basis that your brother, who is a year older than you are, does operate with final say on basketball matters. Why is that?
I defer to our basketball front office to make basketball decisions. I've empowered them. They have a vision. Mitch Kupchak, my brother Jim Buss, see the game a similar way. They have a plan that they need to execute. We need to give them time to show us what that plan is. And I'm not a basketball expert. I wouldn't be a person that would be making basketball decisions. So I have faith in them as a front office to do what needs to be done to take the Lakers back into contention.
But you have been a part of this for a long. You grew up in this. So I have to respect your basketball acumen. You've been with Phil Jackson for a long time. I have to respect what you've learned from him. So I have to respect that your better judgment would occasionally tell you, no, we should do this instead of that.
Well, I think that when there was an opportunity, when Mike Brown left and they were looking for a new coach, they spoke to Phil. There was that impression that Phil got and that I got that the job was his if he felt that he wanted to come back and do it. He needed 48 hours to talk to his family, to get medical clearance, because if he committed to the job, he wanted to make sure that he could fulfill that obligation. He was coming off a knee replacement. Yeah. So when they made the decision to go with Mike D'Antoni, I was hurt because I have a bias towards Phil. I wanted Phil to come back and coach. And so I understand Jimmy and Mitch felt that Mike D'Antoni was better suited for the team, and I'll never agree to that as long as I live.
Okay, so why didn't you drop the hammer at that point and say, no, we're going to do this?
At that time, my father was still alive, and I wasn't in the role that I'm in now. And certainly having Phil around was maybe a source of conflict for me and my brother, but now Phil has moved on. He's got another job. There is no source of conflict, and I'm behind our front office 100%, and I feel that my job is to give them all the tools that they need to be successful. So we have the best fans, the best arena, the best broadcast partners, the best sponsors. I've done all that I need to do. Now it's up to them to do their job.
It's lovely seeing you, by the way. Let me say that first. Thank you very much for being on the show. Where is your brother? I mean, When I say that and I ask that question, I mean, how actively involved is he on a day-to-day basis in doing his role with the Los Angeles Lakers?
Well, he lives in Los Angeles. He loves the Lakers. He and Mitch, when I walk by Mitch's office, they're in there together, talking, discussing, planning. I think that they've got a vision of what they want to accomplish, and they've assured me that they can get the job done, because even after, when Phil was looking at other opportunities, I asked if there was any role that Phil could take in the Laker organization, because I wanted selfishly for him to stay in Los Angeles. And my brother said that there was no room for Phil in the organization or for anybody else. So he and Mitch have it covered. They've assured me that they can get the job done.
Do you believe that your brother came to that conclusion strictly due to basketball reasons, or is there personal animus between himself and Phil Jackson that leads to him wanting just him and Mitch to run the show and not including Phil Jackson?
Well,
at the time,
I can't answer for Mitch or for Jimmy, but I could understand where they may feel there was too many cooks in the kitchen. And Phil is a very strong personality, and Phil has a very clear vision of what he believes the game should be about. And if that isn't if they weren't on the same page that way, I could see where that would not make them comfortable, and that they would feel that it would be in conflict with what they were trying to accomplish.